2, 1. GM people, it is currently 14 minutes past 5 p.m. UK time, Sunday, the 11th of January 2026. Welcome to the 14th episode of MySlink Sundays, which is a free weekly webinar covering the worlds of geopolitics, stocks, crypto, AI. We look at on-chain data, we look at meme coins. If you are in the crypto and or stocks markets, even if you're not in the crypto and or stock markets and you're interested in getting involved, even if you just trade FX, we believe that this webinar has something to benefit everyone who is interested in the markets, whether you're an OG or whether you're a complete beginner. What makes this webinar unique is that we have multiple sections. So we have our co-host, Mr. Krog, who's out in Vietnam, who starts off with world news and geopolitics. We have myself, Fadlan, aka Ninja T, who likes to cover things in a macro. I look at on-chain data, and occasionally I cover the meme coin trenches as well. My wife, Halima, who I think will make it on the webinar today. If not, she usually makes it. She's in a business meeting right now. She does a health and wealth meditation. And then, of course, we've got Chryso that looks at short-term futures. Myself and Chryso are currently in the middle of a prop firm valuation in which Chryso will be publicly sharing his proprietary funds account. If you don't know what prop funds are, it's basically simulated funds where you pay an exam to trade, let's say $10,000 or $25,000 of fake money, and then upon getting a 10% or 8%, whatever the valuation is, you then get that liquidity to trade up and then do a profit split. It sounds great. However, it's very difficult trading conditions. I've been in the market for 10 years, and I can tell you that trading prop firm money and making profits on prop firms is way harder than with real money because of the strict drawdown restrictions. Before I get started, I'd like to iterate that nothing in this video is financial advice. Nobody at MySlink is a financial advisor. We do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. As of time of recording, 11th of January 2026, and rewind time in the Doctor Who TARDIS to the I guess you could say public announcement of MySlink. We are not yet currently, though this may change in the future, a legal entity. We're just a bunch of homies who want to give out free advice. We've never sold anything on the internet at present, though we may in the future. So that's where we're currently at with MySlink. I do think that we should release a Telegram sometime this month, so we can, build a community. But if you want to get involved, let us know. I think that's everything from me. Mr. Krog, are you ready with geopolitics?
Yo, I'm ready. I'll get straight into it. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right then. So let's start off with the crypto news. We've got the XRP rally currently outpacing Bitcoin and Ethereum. And there's been very strong ETF inflows, exactly $1.3 billion with minimal outflows. So yeah, I think this is partly due to XRP's stablecoin. And yeah, there's just a lot of eyes on it right now. That's that. We still got the silver surge continuing. And it's kind of, yeah, almost like competing with Bitcoin as sort of like a chaos and inflation like hedge. People are just, losing trust in the fiat currency right now. And with all the chaos in the world, which I will get into the rest of the news, it kind of does make sense. So you've had US have seized a Russian oil tanker, which yeah, they're just on that. On the mad thing right now, Trump is coming in with all the smoke. And Russia have so that conflict is still very much ongoing. No signs of it stopping soon. And Russia has supposedly used a nuke capable missile in Ukraine, but this hasn't been independently verified. So that suggests sort of that conflict is escalating, and also what people are willing to do in terms of global war just seems to be escalating. And so then we've got Iran, a lot of chaos happening there. They've got very big riots right now, and they've had big blackouts, which they're saying is due to old technology and things. However, the people are thinking that this is to suppress the world finding out the chaos right there. And yeah, they're using and Trump is threatening to get involved, saying that if protesters are killed, he will get involved, and it is pretty much 95% confirmed that protesters are getting killed. So we could see Trump be getting involved there. The US has already deployed Air Force to the Middle East heavily, as well as Navy vessels, suggesting they're gearing up. Iran has said they will not back down towards Trump. I believe they're also preparing for a war with Israel, and Russia has actually evacuated all of their sort of ambassadors and their families from Israel in regards to Iran threatening to strike it. They're threatening to strike Tel Aviv specifically. Um, Iran has had a long running energy crisis, maybe like daily 3 to 4 hour blackouts since early 2025. Schools and offices closed, industries hit hard. Yeah, I think these blackouts are very much I think they're one of the biggest global threats in the world right now, just being able to cut off internet, cut off communication with the outside world. It's a very big threat. However, I do think these blackouts do boost crypto in a sense because it's uncensorable. There's no single government or bank controlling it. And so if this continues to be a tactic deployed by governments or, you know, if one country was to cause a blackout in another country, then crypto is almost like a safe bet outside of that. We've had the NATO secretary, the NATO Secretary General issue warnings to prepare for large-scale war. And Estonia, Latvia, Sweden, and Lithuania have issued civilian war preparation advisory. And I believe that Russia is currently operating pretty close to the Poland border. So these countries close to that conflict. You have also increased their military presence in Greenland, threatening to take it. Now, getting more into Trump, because he is causing a lot of ripple on the world stage. He is, he's threatening with land strikes in Mexico against the cartels. The cartels use crypto massively, so regulations could tighten to try help with this crackdown that Trump's doing. Trump is also proposing a bill to impose 500% tariffs on countries buying Russian oil, including India and China. So again, it's just like, this whole America-Russia tension is only increasing. And yeah, the oil surge is going to raise mining costs for Bitcoin. However, it does kind of spotlight Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but like crypto in general, as something that can bypass these sanctions. And yeah, Trump has also claimed his own morality limits power and rejects international law, which is kind of what I touched upon last week, saying that things like the UN just don't hold any power anymore. And kind of international law is kind of going out the window. If America could do what they did in Venezuela, then, it's kind of suggesting that no one's going to hold people accountable if you're a force to be reckoned with. So that's quite interesting. We're definitely in sort of like a resource war and, just kind of like a brute strength. And I also think with America wanting to hold Greenland, I think with the Arctic melting in general, part of what's actually going on in this world stage is trying to get control of the Arctic. It's going to be full of natural resources, but also going to be key for new trade routes and things. So I think when it comes to like a global World War III, I'm not necessarily sure that is the case. I think all the world leaders are smart enough to avoid that because no one really wins with the current world's capabilities. But at the same time, one human mistake could change that. But what we're seeing more is like in the Cold War, it's almost like a proxy war where countries, are fighting in different territories. They're kind of going against different agreements, almost seeing like how far they can push the limits before anyone tries to stop them. And so I think on the global stage, like that's a little bit in terms of what's going on and how we could see a World War III play out. So yeah, it's rather
Sorry,
than a physical
just to
war.
interrupt you.
Go on, interrupt
Just to
away.
interrupt you. Do you know the rec for the record, guys? I am not the geopolitics guy. Um, it might sound stupid, but who is currently who is the dominant power right now? Who controls like the North and South Pole ice glaciers? Because I too have heard that the world this is like the next big I guess you could say acquirement of countries, right? In terms of wanting to get that natural resource asset management. Do you
Yeah, for
know who is the
sure.
current
So there's kind of this treaty, which I believe actually expires soon, which is basically like all the world governments do agree that that's just kind of like a neutral zone. However, there is loads of people sort of like with bases. They're kind of called research bases, but more so they are very going to quickly be transitioned into military bases when the time's right. And yeah, I think Russia have a high presence there. And it also comes down to control. So, like, for example, the Falklands War with Argentina and the UK over the Falkland Islands, like, part of that is almost like leading up to this. It's like who controls the countries, the land masses, more importantly, who has military bases close to the North and South Pole. But yeah, I'm not sure who kind of dominates it right now. I know that Japan like do a lot of illegal fishing, I believe, in those areas already. So, there's a lot of activity from different countries. To say who kind of dominates it, I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe like Russia has a high presence, as does America and the UK, and yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, who kind of controls the land masses nearby. For example, like the Falkland Islands, like that's a key point for kind of like fueling up if you're trying to like go to that part of the world. But yeah, I'm not overly confident on it. But I'm out here with my friend who studies history and politics, and he works as a civil servant, so he's got a lot of insight into governments and things, and he's been drip feeding me a lot of information sort of about this and how it does work. Um, but yeah, that's my take. I will do more research on that. Back to yeah, I guess Trump. So just sort of touching on like this lawlessness of the world and sort of you know things like the UN kind of not really holding the weight that they used to. I do think this pushes for decentralization almost as like the lawless alternative. And yeah, if chaos ensues, fear drives crypto adoption. Um, back to America, less so Trump causing chaos, but Trump has ordered the US government to buy 200 billion in mortgage bonds to drive down mortgage rates. So yeah, the US housing market has reached its most unaffordable level in history. And so Trump is, I guess, trying to help that. And Trump has banned institutional investors buying single family homes, which has caused BlackRock to fall by 9%, BlackRock stock fall by 9% with Trump introducing this ban. While I don't overly understand the American housing market, I think short term, this looks like a positive thing that Trump's doing, but like long term, it's still just going to leave all the institutions to hold majority of the power. But yeah, I can't really comment any further on that because I've read up on it. I don't fully understand it. Then we've got right. This one's a bit close to home, right? but the UK is considering
Wait. Did you
banning
know?
X. Sorry, carry on, bro.
Just to relate it back to just to relate it back to stocks and crypto, it is actually a very good thing that it. I mean, look, I don't want to live in constant morality, good or bad, but in terms of just pure price action, it's very good that American real estate is overvalued because money has to flow somewhere. And if people
Mm.
and if investors don't see a return, smart money knows not to buy at the high.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good
So
point.
that's another confluence in terms of rotation of capital. Always remember, guys, I'm gonna let Krag get back to it, that money always flows between the following assets. It's literally either in fiat currency, the bond market, real estate, stocks, commodities such as gold, silver, oil. Right now we're in a commodities bull run. Crypto. That's basically it. I might have missed like one or two of the asset classes, but money's just is circulated between a
Mm.
bunch of asset classes, and money's printed forever. But
Back to me. Cool. So this one's a bit close to home as Grok is kind of MySelink's favorite AI. So the UK is considering banning X over the Grok AI controversy, which basically involves like non-consensual images of women and children. These are basically deep fake AI images, including sexualized pictures of children. Gistama has called this disgraceful. And yeah, EU, India, and Malaysia are also sort of investigating Grok generating these images. And what this could lead to is just tighter AI regulations in general and sort of like more laws, just more cracking down on sort of what they're able to do. Okay. And then the last bit of news I want to touch upon is something I didn't fully understand, but I've done a fair bit of research so that I can comment on it. But basically, Japan's 30-year treasury spikes to 3.465%, which is the highest level in history. Basically, higher Japanese yields make borrowing costlier worldwide as Japan hold tons of foreign assets. So pretty much there's like this famous yen carry trade, which is that traders borrow cheap yen, convert it to dollars, and invest in higher yield and riskier assets, including like stocks, crypto, and emerging markets. Rising yields and stronger yen potential equals unwinding, basically selling those assets to repay yen loans. So this creates global volatility, liquidity tightens, and risk assets dip short term to pay off these loans. It basically means it's the end of Japan's world's cheapest borrowing era, meaning, yeah, markets are repricing after decades of ultra low rates. And yeah, this has basically been like a big, especially for the institutions, like borrowing the yen with low interest rates has been like a great method, and pretty much that method is looking like it might be patched. Um, and then lastly, to wrap up, defense budget is now the third biggest in the world after US and China. And this is after 80 years of pacifism. If you know a bit about the Second World War, obviously Japan had a big involvement. And yeah, they basically said never again. However, that stance has now changed with yeah, global politics. I think, escalating pressure from sort of North Korea, kind of like ramping up pressure towards Japan and South Korea, and overall just global tensions rising. Japan has had to, put that capital back into the defense budget. And so, yeah, maybe Japan is a little bit less of a safe haven that it maybe has been for kind of like investment and growth. Recently, yeah, that isn't Japan trying to take military action. It's just them trying to like prepare themselves for having to take military action in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much my wrap up of the geopolitical news. Um, yeah, if anyone wants to comment on anything, feel free. If not, I will leave it back to strictly more strictly crypto related stuff.
Before I get into my section, has anybody got anything to bring up with regards to Krog's geopolitics?
A lot to take in. I'll give it that. 2026 coming in with a bang. Put it that way, lightly. I guess the one last thing I could add, but it's not really like confirmed news yet, but the whole like BRICS thing of trying to stop trading in the dollar, like they are looking, there's talks of them releasing their sort of like prototype in 2026. And so, yeah, we could, that's basically like a global shift of a bunch of influential countries trying to stop trading in the dollar. It's kind of, it's not really like a stable coin as such. It's much more like an institutional thing that they can trade with. But yeah, I'm not commenting on it in depth because nothing's confirmed yet. But that is something in the pipeline that I'm sure I will be covering on a future episode once more information gets announced. Back to the
Okay. First of
Ninja is
all,
muted.
can you guys hear me?
Not anymore.
Am I muted?
Yep.
Am I muted? You can hear me,
No,
right?
no, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Sick. That was definitely the. Oh, 1 second. Let me turn my camera back on. Okay, I'm back. Thank you very much, Krog, our amazing co-host. For that was definitely the best Krog section I've ever had. So thank you for covering geopolitics. Let's get into liquidity. Talk about macro. I'll try to cover some trenches, and then around six-ish, my maximum 6:05. I'm gonna give it over to my wife who will do a health and wealth meditation, followed by Chryso's future section, and then a Q&A. We might do some overtime today. This might be a 2-hour session. Who knows? Let's get it. Ken, good to see you here. Jason, Francis, welcome. Everybody watching the replay, let's go. Okay, so a website which you guys should check every single day is finance.figisolutions.net. This shows you the available liquidity in the American Fed. As we can see, liquidity bottomed out on pretty much Halloween. We called the bottom of Bitcoin. Let's just go to the BTC chart. We called the bottom of Bitcoin around pretty much the bottom. In fact, if I go to the MySlink YouTube right now, I bet that this date, I think it was literally this Sunday that I said the BTC bottom was in and that we wouldn't go below 80K again. Let me double check that. MySlink. Okay. What was the date that I titled one of these Bitcoin bottom? I definitely titled some. Bottom is in. Oh my god. This was on Sunday the 7th. So basically, okay, so basically here. So what you have to understand about markets, even though we have a short-term trading section with Chryso, yes, I do futures. Yes, I short-term trade with less than 5% of my liquid net worth and capital, mind you. Markets do not always react. Markets, this is a timeless lesson. Markets do not react positively and or negatively, typically in the time frame which retail desires. This is why there's things such as buy the rumor, sell the news. So liquidity in the Fed bottomed out in late October. Bitcoin bottomed out in late November, right? And only now are we seeing risk on sentiment start to be turned on. Just to iterate, this is the liquidity in the Fed, and this is the TGA, the Treasury General Account, which has an inverse relationship with liquidity. As we can see, this is currently downtrending, and if the trend continues, which I expect it will do between now and the 31st of March 2026, here's another tip as well. On one side, you have short-term trading, which I encourage people to learn as a skill, not a viable method to make consistent money in the market until you put your 10,000 hours in. And then there's long-term investing, which is really unhelpful because, you know, we got bills to pay. So people don't really want to hold assets for the next 1 to 2 years, right? That's unhelpful. Everybody knows if you buy Bitcoin today, it's going to be worth more in the future. Of course, stack your long-term. Try to look at the market in the eyes of asset managers, so the big money like BlackRock and Vanguard, and make an educated guess through multiple data sets, including my Select webinars, on how you see the quarter, aka 31st of March, 31st of June, 31st of September, 31st of December, are going to play out. I'm very, very bullish for this quarter, as I can see in the medium term. I'm going to read a quick article from Milk Road Macro, who are an amazing financial data publishing institution. A lot of their stuff is from Thomas on Markets. For those that have followed me for a while, you'll know that I used to like to read Thomas, but now Thomas posts on Milk Road Macro for the most part. Okay, so 2026 will be a big year for liquidity. And remember, liquidity is the number one driver of price. Not news, not technical analysis, but liquidity in the medium to long term. Right? Look at the medium to long term first. So, quantitative tightening, QT, is officially over. Officially, QT is essentially nerd talk for the Federal Reserve is pulling money out of the market, right? Let me just go back to finance.fgsolutions.net. I want to relate everything to charts. Okay, so you see this slide down here. This is quantitative tightening. Yeah, this is money being pulled out of the liquidity of the Federal Reserve into cash or bonds, so non-risk on assets, out of stocks and crypto. But the good news is that after nearly 4 years, the Fed's QT program officially ended on the 1st of December 2025. It was one of the most aggressive QT regimes we've seen, but it's now behind us. That's positive for liquidity. QE, aka quantitative easing, has returned, but it's very slow. The exact opposite of QT, which is QE, which adds liquidity to the economy. While the Fed has started QE, it's happening very slowly. The amount that is being purchased is approximately $40 billion a month. For context, the balance sheet was expanding $800 billion a month back in 2020. And you can view this chart on, I believe it's is it the ISM? No, this isn't it. Forget I said that. I'll prepare it for next webinar. We are in the biggest tech boom since the internet. We expected the AI wave to inject massive liquidity. As companies and countries are battling to win the AI arms race, we expect a large amount of funds to be invested. Side note, my wife, Halima, who is going to do the health and wealth meditation, she's building an AI company right now. I'm sure she'll talk about it in due time. This is the perfect time to step into AI. If you learn how to prompt properly and master AI, you will get paid within this next half a decade. Also learn to utilize AI for your investing and trading, starting off by using Grok. Employment and inflation continue to weaken. This is good because it's good for risk on assets because as employment weakens, the job market weakens, it forces the Federal Reserve, it forces the ECB, the European Central Bank, it forces the money printer to be turned on because there needs to be more money to go around to employ people. This liquidity then eventually makes its way into risk on assets. When the economy weakens, it's the Fed's responsibility to strengthen the economy, which is often done by rate cuts. So that's interest rates on borrowing and lending, which is a good cash injection. Nearly 80% of global economies are in easing mode. So that's the PBOC, the People Bank of China, the ECB, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England have lowered their interest rates, and the Fed. UK, Canada, EU. This contributes towards more loose financial conditions, which is another positive sign for global liquidity. Conclusion, 2026 is set to be a massive year for liquidity. Thank you very much, Marco and Macro. Now, please follow us on Twitter at MySolink. We've got like 17 followers right now, but it's okay. What I like to do throughout the week is that I do these pretty high-level tweet strings, which I will be reviewing on the Sunday calls, but they're basically a high-level data dump in which you can get a lot of high-level information if you learn to decipher it. And if any of this goes over your head, go to Grok and literally screenshot my tweet and ask Grok, explain to me this like a complete beginner. And that's the beauty of AI. Okay, so let's start off with this on-chain indicator, courtesy of checkonchain.com. What is on-chain analysis? The beautiful thing about crypto is that all the data is literally on a public ledger, which means that we can extract certain alpha, which is not available in other asset classes, such as the stock market. Okay, so this is the short-term holder spend output profit ratio indicator. In plain English, and I've clicked a link. I've created the link for you guys here. Basically, when this crosses this line here, it is an indication of risk on sentiment being turned on. Now, you do not, with any data set, want to just accept one thing. You want to backtest this. If we just live on screen currently backtest this, we can see that every time, or almost every time, this has crossed this line, risk on sentiment for Bitcoin, aka the price going up, which is good for the rest of the crypto market, has been turned on. We are literally at the inflection point of this being turned on right now. As we can see, we've rose and now we've taken a slight pullback, which is fine, which is a healthy correction. Okay. Short-term holders are defined by those holding Bitcoin for 155 days or less. Recently, short-term holders, i.e. those that bought Bitcoin in the past 155 days, broke even, which is why there's been a sell-off, because basically retail's always wrong. Okay, next. Oh, I even explain it here. 1, they're selling at a profit. -1, they're selling at a loss. Okay, so DexScreener.com, the #1 website in the world for viewing meme coins. On, what was it, the 7th, you know, sometimes like the meme meta doesn't make sense. I really didn't understand why the biggest meme coins in crypto were 114, Yaranakai. I didn't understand the narrative, right? What I always want to iterate with you guys is that all the information in the world is available. Almost all the information that you need in the world to make money on the markets is not only free and available, but we have AI, particularly Grok, which is MySlink's favorite, to break down this data. I even link you guys the conversation I had with Grok, and I want you to take this. I want you to take this practice for you guys to improve your research, right? I literally said to Grok, in the crypto meme trenches every day, I'm behind on the 11451 narrative, something fish. I don't know much about all these narratives. You know, explain everything. And this was the meta, right? I won't go into it too much, but it was, you know, the meme coin trenches change every day, and it's good to be on top, right? As I said here, for the record, MySlink, one of our edges as an eco is that we diversely look at a range of markets that most people would never look at in total together. We look at macro, memes, stocks, AI, geopolitics, long-term, mid-term, and futures trading. Okay, so here is an excerpt from Cross Border Capital, which is an institutional grade research firm. Let's read their TLDR of one of their latest reports. We remain bullish on Chinese risk on assets. China being the PBOC, who now actually contribute more to the global liquidity pool than the Fed. China has decisively shifted its policy to tackle its massive debt problem by aggressively monetizing debt, much like the US does with bonds. In short, the central bank is creating vast amounts of liquidity. This policy, modeled on Japan's post-2012 strategy, plans to inflate away real value of debt and prevent a financial crisis. This we see as a major bullish signal for risk-on assets like stocks. Basically, massive monetary expansion. Now, let's have a look at these two charts. This is the by cross-border capital, their global liquidity index, and the TLDR is, as we can see, every time this has dipped, this has basically spiked up, and the TLDR is that we're bullish for Q1. We have a model from 42 Macro, which is another respectable financial institution data provider. Venezuela holds the largest proven crude oil reserves in the world, estimated at 303 billion barrels. Those reserves represent roughly 18% of global total proven oil reserves. You know what? I won't read this. I will just go into this here. This is I guess you could say, global macro index. As we can see here, we can see that this quarter, where we have basically the more green and the more blue that you see on this board, the more bullish it is for the quarter. What do you see here? A lot of blue and a lot of green in different countries, from Australia, Brazil. Basically, the world economy is expected to see a huge bounce this quarter, which is why it's so important to lock in. And I will say this, right? Gains in the market are not linear. Gains in the market are exponential. So if you ask anybody who's been in the market for a long period of time, they can always tell you that there is a quarter where they made the most money. You can make the most money you've ever seen in your life in the next 3 to 6 months and not see money like that for many years. This is why it's important to lock in the trenches right now. There's a website called unbiased_FYI. They are a data aggregator of the best, I believe, 400 macro, crypto, and stocks analysts. And they've back-tested their data in terms of who's been correct. We can see here that the overall market overview through the, not 400, top 301 back-tested opinion leaders is 70% bullish, 30% bearish across the board. This has been the case since the bottom. Next, let's look at this on-chain data set by Charts Inspect. Click here. Okay, so I've provided the links to all these screenshots, but let's just have a look at the actual screenshots. This data set here is basically telling us that we are switching from a bearish to bullish bias on this exponential moving average. This data set here, which I will. Everything's taking a while to load. My apologies. I should have loaded this just before the webinar, but I'll be on a call with one of my homies who's just had a kid. Okay, everything's taking a while to load. Basically, what this is telling you is that risk on is about to be turned on / is turning on right now. We'll skip over that. Another data set by chartsinspect.com is that the sell side pressure is turning to the downside, which has an inverse relationship to price. This is basically another confirmation that we're going up. A data set from Alpha Extract. We can see here that we are just about to turn on the risk sentiment. Thank you, Mom. Mom just gave me some bee medicine. Health is wealth, guys. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Okay. Yeah, it's this on-chain data set. Again, if you look at the tweet string, I provide all links. I gatekeep nothing. I believe it was on the 30-day. Which day was it? The 7-day. Yes, as we can see on the 7-day time frame, we can see that we're just turning on bullish. However, this is not yet confirmed on longer on-chain data time frames. I do believe that the bottom is in. As you can see here, this is kind of like a support line, if you can call it that. However, I would like to see this turn on higher time frames to confirm the bullish momentum. As I was saying to Chryso off recording, that I believe that we could get a wipeout down to 86, 85K levels before trending upwards. Okay, so where are we? Oh my God, the Matrix just attacked me. Here we are. Check on chain supply and profit and loss ratio just hit break even on, well, it's called the short-term holder supply and profit and loss ratio, but I like to call it the Rastafari indicator because it's red, gold, and green. I provided you guys the link to this. Again, I don't gatekeep anything because I believe information should be spread out and free. We can see here that we have just crossed this break-even line. You will notice on on-chain data sets, it's typical to look at what's called the short-term holder supply, which is 155 days. We've just crossed this break-even inflection point. Bitcoin long liquidation dominance, which has an inverse relationship to price, as we can see here, in times where most shorts are liquidated at times of most bullish price action, and vice versa when most long liquidations are liquidated, or when we have bearish price actions. As we can see, we have started to form an accumulation of short liquidations, which is indicative of bullish price action. Yeah, this is a long tweet string. Let me see how. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. Oh, we got a little bit more. I really want to go through this because I put a lot of work in this. Okay, so next we have the Bitcoin futures open interest price change, right? So let's have a look at this indicator again. Charts.checkonchain.com. So as we can see here, right? Look, the purple here represents 3 months ago. Okay, so 3 months ago we had a leverage sell-off. The top of the market was around mid-October 2024. 2 weeks ago we had a spot rally. That's where the purple is. And right now we're in the leverage rally, meaning that a lot of the reason for prices pushing up right now is because of leverage. This shows a increase in risk on sentiment. There's an indicator called the FSVZO, which you guys can get on TradingView for free. I tried to make everything that I present on this webinar free and accessible, and things that are behind a paywall, I like to leak to you guys. One sec. Here we are, the FSVZO. I believe it was on the 3-day time frame. Even on the 1-week time frame, we can see here that we're reaching the end of this bearish momentum. Let me go to a 5-day time frame, and as we can see, as of the end of December, this indicator here is basically flipped to bullish. Of course, we do not rely on any individual indicator, which is why I like to present to you guys a range of data sets that are in confluence with each other. Another great website here. Almost finished the tweet string. What was I seeing here? This is basically just something to watch out for in terms of risk on sentiment being turned on into all season. The last time this was up here was in mid-September and also in late December. So if we literally zoom out, let's see the times we were in all season. September 22. So this is basically before the 16K Bitcoin bottom. As we can see here, we are trending upwards, which is great. Last but not least, we have a model from 42 Macro, which is comparing the global liquidity index and Bitcoin. As we can see, in previous times where we have had this level of gap between what this model has between the global liquidity index and the fair value of Bitcoin. We can see we are extremely undervalued. And this gap eventually, or historically, closing into the zone of euphoria. 5 more minutes with myself, and then I'll give it over to my wife. Let's go over some quick charts. Just to iterate again, the Bitcoin to gold ratio is the lowest it's ever been since January 2024. It's reset back to the 2-year low, guys. It's reset back to the 2-year low. Gold, I really don't think has that much room left. I think it'll go to like 5,000. Silver, I know it's easy to be euphoric on silver right now, but this inevitably will correct. It will correct. When will it correct? I don't know. What price do I think silver will go to? Maybe $100. But this liquidity will funnel into crypto. I mean, I think this is the most beautiful Bitcoin to gold ratio chart in the world. Let's not forget that the S&P 500 is at all-time highs. The Nasdaq is at all-time highs. The Russell 2000, which is basically the meme stocks, valued at approximately $3 trillion, around the same as crypto, is at all-time highs. And historically speaking, it must break all-time highs before zones of euphoria kick in. I believe right now we're being squeezed out as retail, as historically markets are the greatest tool to separate a wealth transfer from the impatient to the patient. Okay, that's the super long tweet string. What else did I want to go to? Fear and greed in crypto bottomed out in late November 2025, perfectly in line with the price of Bitcoin capitulating to 80K. We are seeing a recovery in this. Of course, in the recovery, we also see some pullbacks, which is why crypto is pulling back. Fear and greed in the stock market has now hit neutral, according to the CNN index. If we look at the timeline, we can see here that the stock market bottomed out along with crypto in November 2025, I believe. We are set to go higher. Meme coin pick of the quarter. I'm going to call it out. I think Bullish has an amazing narrative. They have recently acquired the intellectual property rights of Wojak. I think this is a multi-$100 million runner. I don't want to call out too many meme coins. Let's have a look at Bullish right now. Last time I checked, oh my god, no way. This bounced hard. Okay, if this goes back to 20 million, wow. You sleep and you miss it. You sleep and you miss it. I'm not saying it's a bad price right now. Look at that. It literally slapped the 0.236 Fibonacci. I slept and told myself I was going to buy. I didn't. Should have bought yesterday at 8 a.m., but it's fine. Look into the narrative of these guys. I think they're super strong. They're co-signed by Wall Street Bets. Whoever's been in previous bull markets knows that these guys are legends for calling out multiple shills in the previous bull market, from BlackBerry to GameStop to SafeMoon. They're also super bullish on Pengu. Yeah, Bullish is my meme coin pick of the week. I think these guys are going to run to hundreds of millions. And they've been building, man. What else? I will end with publicly saying that I think Ton is literally about to break out. I don't want to be that person who just tells you about things that have already happened. I want to tell you things in advance, because that's essentially how you make money in the market, not by talking about things that have already gone up, but talking about things before they go up. I would like to publicly call this. I think there is going to be a huge ton season. The last time we had a ton season was in 2024. It's been in a downtrend for the whole of 2025. I don't see why, along with risk on sentiment, liquidity. I mean, technicals are looking fucking beautiful for Ton. I think it's a beautiful time to accumulate ton. I think ton's going to go to $10 plus this cycle. And I'm particularly watching out for the ton degen trenches on deck screener. How do you do that? In fact, I'm going to show a ton, a huge ton runner or potential runner, and that's EVAR. So basically, the RV of ton. If you don't know what RV is, it's the biggest lending protocol on crypto, where you can basically loan against your assets. They originally built on ton, and now they've expanded to Binance Smart Chain. Look at this chart. For anyone who knows my investing style, is that I'm a Warren Buffett type, mean reverting, buy the fucking dip, fundamental investor. This is going to run. This is like a bot gift right now. This is a gift in the market. I don't see why this would not run. Obviously, there's always a reason why things don't run. I believe the bottom is in forever, the biggest lending protocol on ton, and it's literally 10x from the high. Last but not least, I'll do a stocks pick. Let's take MicroStrategy, right? Okay, I'm gonna give it over to my wife because I think in a second. But we can literally see here. First of all, on a technical, it's looking beautiful, right? It's looking beautiful. Let me show you a Grok conversation that I had earlier this week, just to confirm. I think MicroStrategy is the greatest leverage Bitcoin play in history right now. MSTR. Okay, can you confirm how much Bitcoin MicroStrategy own and where they sit in the top 10 biggest holders? MicroStrategy holds 672,000 BTC as of January 2026. This is just behind Satoshi Nakamoto, Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet, and the iShares Bitcoin Trust. They literally own, they're the third, they own 3% of the Bitcoin supply. All this FUD, I'm gonna call it's the MicroStrategy bottom in Ninja's opinion, not financial advice. If you want the greatest, well, not the greatest, but one of the greatest, easiest stock plays in current history right now, MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, your stock's gonna go to the moon. I gave you bullish, my meme coin pick right now on Solana. I gave you Ton, I gave you EVAR, and I gave you MicroStrategy. They're Ninja shills, midterm spot shills. Hope you guys got some value. Halima, my lady, are you ready? Is she ready?
Yeah,
Hope she's ready.
I'm ready.
You are ready. You are ready. Okay, amazing. I will make. I think you need to turn your camera.
Pardon?
I think you need to turn your camera.
I
Is your
can't hear
camera on?
you.
I'm trying to spotlight you. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So,
Welcome to
Krog,
this guided
do you wanna turn on?
meditation by Halima. What's that? By Halima. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? For some reason, I can't
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear you,
you.
Lima.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're ready for you to
Hello?
start.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, thanks. Welcome to this guided meditation by Halima von Meiselink. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Let your body relax completely. Release any stress about money, market changes, or uncertainty. Let's breathe together. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat this breathing pattern 2 more times. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more time. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Picture yourself in a digital space filled with light. Golden Bitcoin symbols float around you like stars. Ethereum forms as a glowing path beneath your feet. You're part of a network like roots connected to trees in a forest, where everyone's success helps the whole community grow. This is Mycelink. When one person wins, we all move forward together. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Think about your parents and grandparents. They worked so hard so you could have the opportunity today. You honor them by learning about this new digital economy. Now imagine the people who come after you, your children, their children. See them living with financial freedom, security, and choices. You're building that future today, right now. Generational wealth means freedom, time, and peace of mind. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat these affirmations after me. I am building wealth that will last beyond my lifetime.
I'm building wealth that will last beyond my lifetime.
Money flows to me easily in this digital economy.
Money flows to me easily in this digital economy.
My choices today create positive effects for the future generations.
My choices today create positive effects for the future generations.
Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat after me. I let go of old limiting beliefs about money.
I let go of old limiting beliefs about money.
I embrace new opportunities in the blockchain and crypto.
I embrace new opportunities in the blockchain and crypto.
Teaching my family about finance is a gift I give them.
Teaching my family about finance is a gift I give them.
I make smart investments and decisions with good timing.
I make smart investments and decisions with good timing.
Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat after me. I am patient because real wealth takes time to build.
I am patient because real wealth takes time to build.
I trust myself to learn and adapt to new technologies.
I trust myself to learn and adapt to new technologies.
I succeed.
I succeed.
I lift up my whole community.
I lift up my whole community.
I deserve wealth and I use it wisely.
I deserve wealth and I use it wisely.
Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Repeat after me. Fear doesn't control my financial decisions. My vision does.
Fear doesn't control my financial visions, my vision does.
Future generations will thank me for the choices I make today.
Future generations will thank me for the choices I make today.
I hold my investments with confidence and patience.
I hold my investments with confidence and patience.
I create lasting wealth through the blockchain technology.
I create lasting wealth through the blockchain technology.
Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Your investments have grown. You've made good decisions and you've stayed patient during uncertainty. You're surrounded by golden light, the feeling of financial freedom. Every choice you make today plants seeds for tomorrow. You have the vision. You have the patience. You're building wealth you've dreamed of. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, place your hand on your chest, just above your heart. Repeat after me. I deserve generational wealth.
I deserve generational wealth.
I will take action consistently.
I will take action consistently.
I connect past generations to future ones.
I connect past generations to future ones.
This opportunity is mine.
This opportunity is mine.
This future is mine.
This future is mine.
This wealth is mine.
This wealth is mine.
Now, breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and notice how calm and powerful and focused you feel. You are grounded, you are connected, and you are ready. Welcome to MySlink. Welcome to your legacy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Alima.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, love. Thank you very much. Sheesh,
You're
I think it's
welcome.
getting better and better, man. We had Krog's best ever. we had Krog's best ever geopolitics. I think that was the best. Krog, would you say that was the best what meditation, or do you have a favorite one? I think that might have been the best.
Yeah, I think it was good. I'll give my feedback privately.
Yeah, I think it was good. I'll give my feedback privately.
Okay, for sure, for sure, for sure. All right,
I like to just
Cryzo,
listen,
Cryzo,
bro.
Cryzo, you ready to take over on the show?
I like to listen, bro.
Yeah,
I think how
I'm
you've
here.
made it
I'm glad.
more related to crypto.
Yeah,
That's
man, I think
that's a
how
good
you
turn.
made it like
This
more
is at the
related to
beach.
crypto. That's a good turn.
Wait,
This is at the beach.
there you go. I'm here. I'm active. Yes, no, wait.
There you go. I'm glad I'm active.
Right, you know how it is. We want to make money. I
Talk
think
to us about
there's
the future.
feedback. There's feedback coming through someone's mic. Right, it's gone now. Okay, we want to make money this season, right? This Q1, we are pretty certain that we are going to have a massive, massive push to the top. So, if you've not got too much money, but you want to make a lot, then definitely think about going into some futures. You can do some pretty safe longs. You can do 2x and up to 5x if you want to be safe. But you can scale it 25x if you want to catch some pretty good pushes. So I'm gonna show you guys my analysis, right? Right, this is Bitcoin on 15 minute. That's what I trade on really. I trade on 15-minute, the hourly, with effect from the 4 hour and the daily. But the weekly is pretty much the direction I'm mainly going in. Check this, right? These are my two effects. These are my two indicators that I have on. It's the Heikin-Ashi RSI and it's CVD rules. I also use volume profiles, check some volume, but I've also got some other charts which I'm gonna be showing you guys about where I'm gonna be going and why I'm gonna be going there. But look, right, on the weekly, right, this is pretty much the bottom of this pump. Like we said, we've called the bottom. Ninja called the bottom, right? We are pretty much past it. We're ready for this massive push up, right? So we want to catch this on about 5x, 10x leverage, hopefully 10x. It would be beautiful. Right now, I am long on Pengu, because I'll show you guys. If we go down to the daily looks like it might be going down a bit more, but because of the macro settings and how it looks like on the long term, I feel like it could bounce from here, continue pushing up. But even if not, right? Even if it doesn't, Within the 4 hour, we look like we're bouncing back. We've not had a lot of volume. By the way, if you're not too familiar with this RSI, what it is Hakanashi was this guy from Japan, I think, and he simplified the charts, less less clutter. So on the main chart you see a lot of green and red candles mixed up, but on the Hakanashi RSI you only see red, right? So it's a lot simpler, and RSI it's a measurement of how if it's expensive or cheap. So if it's at the bottom, it's cheap, so you probably want to buy it. If it's at the top, it's expensive, so you probably want to sell it or short it. Right, so right now, I think we're so ready to make this 4 hour move to the top, right? And this 4 hour move could be up to 0.0145, right? On Bitcoin, we're having quite a lot of resistance around this point. And I'm gonna look at the liquidation heat map real quick. So this one it tells you where there's a lot of volume. So it's like targets where we'd want to be hitting on the in terms of our overall price, right? We've got a lot of liquidity up over here at 91K, right? And we've got a lot of liquidity down here at 89K. So in my personal opinion, we could be going either way, right? Either way, up or down. This is the 24 hour. Let's go for the 1 month.
Go for the
That
the
there's
one
there's
moment.
volume
Sorry,
everywhere.
can I just add in the importance of
Then there's
you.
not everyone.
Go on.
So I just wanted to add something, right? Notice how he said we can either go up or down. It's very important in your own analysis for you to ask yourself, do you have a bullish bias, a bearish bias, a consolidating bias, so sideways, or to just tell yourself that you don't know. You don't always know. The market is not always clear. Sometimes it's really clear that this is the bottom. Sometimes it's really clear like this is the top. And sometimes the market tells you, I don't know. And in times where I don't know, you need to not take.
Yep, he's not wrong. So personally, I wouldn't be holding for long term. You know what I mean? Right now in this situation, I'd be waiting if either to touch one of the top, one or the other. If it went down to the bottom one, I'd probably be looking to long it around then. At the top, I'd probably looking to maybe short. Or if I see a continuation, we're looking to continue up to 100K, definitely be looking at longing it. Realistically, if we start getting 4 hour candles up above this 94K, 95K, that's when I'll start to think this overall Bitcoin chart is looking quite bullish, which it already is. We've formed a high low, a high high recently, and it just depends on here we're resisting, it's neutral. So if we start to go up and start to secure around that point, then I will think we're gonna be going up a bit higher, 100K, and then we might start to see a reversal back down. As a we might be touching back down to 80K. We never know, but because of that, because I'm definitely terrified right now, I'm just gonna be trading on the hourly, right? So right now the 4 hour it looks like it's gonna be going up, right? The hourly, it looks like we've just touched the top. We might be heading even higher into the black. Historically, it does do that. You know what I mean? We do tend to fly up, but at the same time, my CVD bulls are telling me we might have a dump here. So I'd be definitely wary of Bitcoin. And on the 15 minute, we'll quite possibly going down. If it starts to form below this point, I'd definitely assume it as starting to go bearish. The pattern of it goes like this: form new highs, newer lows, high highs, high lows. That's bullish, right? Like that. That's bearish, right? Low lows, low highs. So if it starts to form a bearish pattern, which right now it is bullish. That's when I might be starting to think exiting this pendulum. which right now is still fine just because it's above this value. But I am accepting that 1.5K in loss. This is paper trading, by the way. I am also trading on my MetaTrader, which I will show you. Um, if it goes down there, that's when I will be exiting stop loss. But my target is about 4.5K. But on this it says 10K, right? But honestly, I'm looking for at least 1 to 3 risks to reward. So that if I lose any of my further trades, my later trades, then I will be yeah, you know what? You drew that line down. It definitely could be going down. But I think this is more of a
Bro, I just drew that by accident.
oh. But either way,
Oh,
if you look on the hour, it looks like it might be going back up, like just pushing back up. Macro wise, we look like we're going there. Um, yeah, yeah. I would maybe enter here, possibly look for it to fly up on the hourly, continue its move, make its actual proper move on the 4 hour, which would be up around this range here. Right, so that is a pretty much like one to like what 6 risk to reward. I don't know. 1 to like 7, 6.5 type shit. Uh, so yeah, it looks all right. This could be the bounce everyone was talking about. Do you know what I mean? We're resisting quite a lot here. If we don't manage to break these zones and continue pushing up, then we're probably gonna see it continue down here. 88K, 86K, possibly. If it hits 80K, I would have you would have probably like everyone here would have probably sold their assets by then. Probably been starting to look at shorting or something like that. Just because yeah, you don't want to be long in it when it's on its way down there. But right now, this breakout candle, it looks positive, positive, very positive. So yeah, let me show you guys a few more things I wanted to look at. Right. So this is altcoin open interest and volume. So right, all right. Every time we have wait, is altcoin open interest? Yeah, that's right. Right. So do you see a shadow in the back? That's pretty much the open interest in altcoins, right? The orange line is Bitcoin price. So every time we've been at the peak, the interest flew up a lot higher than it was before compared to the Bitcoin price. So I think it's pretty good time to be in altcoins because the gain is going to probably be a lot bigger than just if you trade in Bitcoin alone, right? Altcoins, there's a method like 4 to 5x easily on 10x leverage. That's like 50x, man. Crazy stuff. So that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for these big gains, try to get us these big bags and this third one, right? I've got two more, right? This one, Bitcoin price and the funding rate. Not this one actually. It was, yep, this one. Right. So, all right. Right. Do you see here, right? This is where we're at now. Right. Bitcoin went down, and for the last like ages, we've had money, right? This has been quantitative tightening where everyone's been like putting their money in the pockets. They've not been wanting to spend nothing, right, for a long time. And the Federal Reserve, right, they just started splashing out a bit of dough right here. This was literally the 1st of January, the 4th of January, the beginning of the year. So this is signs, right? And it's a bit higher than it was a bit ago. This is signs that we are going to start seeing the American government splash out all their money into crypto and the stuff that we want, and in turn, that will be our super cycle. That will be our 10x, 20x. Everyone getting rich, euphoria. Everyone's like, "What the hell? I've just made a lot of money." Um, so definitely, we've got proper signs of us, flying in the near time, right? But so it's a path, not a direct like it's a path, right? It doesn't just go in a direction, right? So it goes up and down, right? But we know where it's gonna go. It's gonna go up to 125K, right? At least that's the previous all-time high, right? We know it's gonna go there at least, but we don't know how soon it's gonna go there and how hard, right? We're gonna be going down and up to get there, right? So say you're gonna be putting some leverage in, I'd be putting at most, right? If you want to be doing it long term, right? Not looking at it again for the next 6 months, 2x leverage is a safe bet, right? Pengu, pretty safe. I do not think it's gonna be going down to 0.6. I trade Pengu because it's a good coin, right? Um, 0.6 here, right? I did not think it's going to be touching there. It just wouldn't be. Um,
No, it just wouldn't be. Or
hello? What you saying?
hello? What there? I just said it's possible, but it's almost impossible. I would give it like 1 to 5% possibility, but way less than 90%.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, a few things. If some crazy stuff happens with the dollar, if Trump dies, if there's a pandemic, there's a lot of things that could happen, just big catalysts out of nowhere. If you hear some crazy news, be careful, right? Because it might make it dump all the way down. But that's a rare scenario. Like, to be honest, I was looking at this candle here. Right, look on Pengu. See this massive candle here, this death wick here, absolute. It killed so many people off. Like, so many people got their money wiped on futures. So if you're going 10x leverage here or something stupid, you would have been absolutely wiped. Someone had literally killed themselves because of this candle. So just be careful. This is when Trump announced a trade war between them and China. And it absolutely fucked everyone. So yeah, to
And
be honest, I don't
absolutely
think that's
fucked
going to be
everyone.
happening anytime soon.
So yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Wait, did you say somebody killed themselves? Is that a figure of speech, or do you have like an article that proves that to be
Bro, it's
so?
true. It's literally a fact. Like someone who
Bro,
literally committed suicide
it's
because of that event. I can search it if you want. I'd
I
rather
can
not,
search it
but
if you want.
rest in peace, that person, for real.
No, leave it, leave it. Don't trade your net worth, guys.
Yeah, be very careful. This is why I say stick to your strategy. If you're going to be trade about, if you're going to be a risky trader with not a lot of money, then maybe 10%, 20%, so you've seen some good gains. But accept your stop loss. Try to get a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3 with an accuracy of at least 75%, right? Because then in that way, if you lose one trade, you'll have 3 trades from the last trade that you won, which will make up for that. And you're probably likely to win the trades that you're going to do. So you should be in profit unless, like, I don't know, you just make mistakes. And every time you make a mistake, note it down so you don't do it in the future. Um, and you should definitely fly up. But look right here, right? Why would it go back down the 4 hour? Right? It looks like it's just ready to fly. If I stick here for a while, a good solid while, I do think we might even hit this 13387 zone. I got a good feeling that this is the bottom of this current dip. Right. So for the next, I'd say a day or two, right? I'd be long, in my personal opinion. But obviously, do your own research. There are a few traders which aren't long right now, which I would understand if I'm just looking at the daily. But I think we've got a big pump and then a big downtrend after that pump, which will correct us. So my personal opinion is we're gonna go up here, go back down there, and fly up. That's what I think's gonna happen. But do your own research, guys. Be careful as hell. It's a hard market. Just yeah, hopefully we all get rich. I'm just saying, if you want to know the maths, right? Say you're on Pengu, right? You're at $100. Um, let's go on the weekly right now. This is the most beautiful chart I like to look at. Not right now because it's kind of ugly. But if we start to close in the red, oh my days, so many blue lines. Right. If we start to see this close in the green, we could be looking at a pump like this, which from 0.013 where we're at right now, or almost, or 12, up to 0.047, which is about 4x like from right now. And the state of the market right now, we're thinking it's gonna go even higher. So if you had $100 on 10x, which is $1,000, right? And it did just continuously keep going up from now. Say you caught the bottom, you'd be making about 4K from $100 in about 2 months. You know what I mean? Unless we had a bit of a downturn for a bit long, for a bit of a while, you'd be looking at 4K in 2 weeks, 2 months even. So definitely look into that stuff. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all for me. If you want, I'm gonna show my MetaTrader real quick. I am down. I'll be completely honest. Um, but I'm just gonna show you that it's currently loaded
Hey, it's important to be transparent, man.
up. Get this. If you look here, it's 10.2K. That's how much I've got right now. It started off with 10K. I'm up to $200. Um, I've obviously not got every trade correct, but I've had a good enough accuracy and a risk to reward ratio that I've been able to consistently get it up higher every time that I've made a lead.